You can wake up early. You can go to the gym. So why does money feel like the one thing you just can't stay consistent with? I want you to think about something for a second. There's probably at least one area in your life where you've proven to yourself that you can be disciplined. Maybe it's waking up on time even when you don't feel like it. Maybe it's sticking to a workout routine for a few weeks, or even months. Maybe it's showing up for work every day, even when your mind is tired and your energy is low. You've done hard things before. So this isn't about you being lazy. It's not about you lacking willpower. And yet, when it comes to money, something feels different. You try to save, but something always comes up. You tell yourself you won't spend, but somehow you do. You plan to invest, but you keep delaying it. And after a while, it starts to feel personal. Like maybe this is the one area where you just can't get it right. But here's the truth most people never hear. Money discipline doesn't feel harder because you're weaker. It feels harder because money is wired directly into your emotions, your identity, and your sense of safety. And once you understand that, everything starts to make a lot more sense. Most people think discipline is a single skill. Like it's one muscle you either have, or you don't. So when you're disciplined in one area, you expect that discipline to automatically transfer into every other part of your life. But it doesn't. Because discipline isn't just about effort. It's about context. And money is one of the most emotionally loaded contexts that exists. Think about it. When you skip a workout, you might feel a little guilty. When you overspend, it can feel heavier than that. There's a different kind of tension. Because money isn't just numbers. It's security. It's freedom. It's comparison. It's pressure. It's sometimes even your sense of worth. And when something carries that much emotional weight, your brain doesn't treat it like a simple habit. It treats it like survival. That's why budgeting feels harder than going for a run. That's why saving feels harder than waking up early. That's why investing feels scarier than trying something new. Because when money is involved, it doesn't feel like you're just making a decision. It feels like you're risking something important. Let's slow this down and really understand what's happening beneath the surface. Because once you see it clearly, you stop blaming yourself. And you start working with your mind, instead of against it. 1. Money is tied to immediate emotions, not just long-term logic. With most forms of discipline, the feedback loop is clear. You go to the gym, you feel accomplished. You eat healthier, you feel lighter. You complete a task, you feel productive. There's a direct emotional reward. But money works differently. When you spend, you get an instant reward. That new item, that meal, that experience. It gives you something right now. Relief, comfort, excitement. But when you save, there's no immediate emotional payoff. In fact, it can feel like a loss. You're saying no to something today, for a future you can't fully see yet. And your brain doesn't like that. Because your brain is designed to prioritize what's immediate and certain, over what's distant and abstract. So even if you logically understand saving is important, emotionally, it feels like you're giving something up. And that creates resistance. 2. Money decisions are constant, there's no off switch. You don't have to go to the gym all day. You don't have to make health decisions every minute. But money? Money shows up everywhere. Every time you open your phone. Every time you walk into a store. Every time you scroll online. Every time someone invites you out. You're constantly making micro decisions. Should I spend this? Can I afford that? Do I need this? And decision fatigue is real. Even disciplined people get tired. So what happens? At some point, your brain looks for the easiest option. And the easiest option is usually the one that feels good in the moment. Which often means spending. Not because you lack discipline, but because you've been making decisions all day. 3. Money is deeply connected to identity. This is the part most people don't talk about. Money isn't just about survival anymore. It's also about how you see yourself, and how you think others see you. What you wear, where you go, what you own. These things quietly shape your identity. So when you try to be disciplined with money, it can feel like you're not just changing your habits. You're changing who you are. And that's uncomfortable. Because humans are wired to protect their identity. Even if that identity isn't helping them. So if part of your identity is tied to I enjoy treating myself. I don't want to look broke. I deserve nice things. Then cutting back doesn't feel like discipline. It feels like loss. It feels like restriction. It feels like you're becoming someone else. And your brain resists that. 4. Money carries hidden emotional baggage. For a lot of people, money isn't neutral. It carries past experiences. Stress from childhood. Pressure from family. Moments of lack, or even moments of shame. So when you deal with money today, you're not just dealing with numbers. You're dealing with everything those numbers represent. That's why some people avoid checking their bank account. That's why some people overspend when they feel anxious. That's why some people delay investing even when they know they should. It's not about knowledge. It's about emotion. And emotions don't respond to logic the same way habits do. 5. Progress with money is slow and invisible. If you go to the gym consistently, you eventually see results. If you work on a skill, you improve. There's visible progress. But with money, it's slow. Saving $50 doesn't feel like much. Investing small amounts doesn't feel exciting. And because progress is gradual, it's easy to feel like nothing is happening. So your brain starts asking, what's the point? And once that thought sets in, discipline starts to fade. Not because you're incapable, but because your brain isn't getting enough evidence that your effort matters. So here's the shift that changes everything. Discipline with money isn't about forcing yourself to do what's right. It's about understanding the emotional system you're operating in. Because once you see that money decisions are emotional, you stop expecting yourself to behave like a robot. And you start building systems that work with your psychology. Instead of saying, I need more discipline, you start asking, why does this feel hard, and how can I make it easier? That question alone changes everything. Because now you're not fighting yourself. You're understanding yourself. And when you understand yourself, you can start making small, realistic adjustments that actually stick. A lot of people approach money like this. I need to control my spending. But control is exhausting. And eventually, it breaks. What works better is alignment. Where your habits match your values, without constant effort. Where saving doesn't feel like punishment. Where spending doesn't feel like guilt. Where decisions feel calmer. And that doesn't come from willpower. It comes from clarity. So what does this actually look like in real life? Not extreme changes. Not cutting everything out. Just small shifts that make discipline feel less heavy. First, make your financial decisions easier, not harder. If every decision requires willpower, you'll burn out. So reduce the number of decisions you have to make. Automate what you can. Create simple rules that remove thinking from the process. Because the less you rely on willpower, the more consistent you become. Second, allow yourself to enjoy money, intentionally. A lot of people swing between two extremes. They either spend without thinking, or they try to restrict everything. Neither works long term. Because if you remove all enjoyment, your brain will eventually push back. So instead of saying, I can't spend, shift to, I choose where I spend. That subtle shift changes how it feels. Third, redefine what progress looks like. Progress with money is quiet. It's not dramatic. It's not exciting. And that's okay. Because real financial stability doesn't feel like a rush. It feels like less stress, less anxiety, more breathing room. So instead of chasing big wins, start noticing small consistency. Because that's what actually builds momentum. Fourth, separate your identity from your spending. You are not what you buy. You are not what you own. And once you truly understand that, you stop using money to prove something. And you start using it more intentionally. That alone removes a huge amount of pressure. Fifth, be honest about your emotional triggers. When do you spend the most? Is it when you're stressed, bored, tired, trying to feel better? Because once you see the pattern, you can interrupt it. Not perfectly, but enough to make a difference. If money has felt harder than everything else, it's not because you're failing. It's because money isn't just a habit. It's a reflection of how you feel, what you value, and what you've experienced. And that makes it more complex. But also, more human. So instead of trying to become perfectly disciplined, try becoming more aware, more patient, more intentional. Because real progress with money doesn't come from forcing yourself. It comes from understanding yourself. And once you do that, things start to feel a little lighter. A little clearer. A little more manageable. Not perfect. But better. And honestly, better is enough to move forward.